everybody. This is Kira, and I am here with another episode of Special Guest, which I am excited to do because it's sort of a special one. It's been a good weekend for us Fusion Fall people, and I am going to introduce my guest, who's going to talk about something super exciting. It is the one and only Dogon.
Hello.
So Dogon, do you want to tell everyone why we're here, what we're going to talk about?
Well, today we're going to talk about the Fusion Fall Legacy introduction cutscene, which we recently released.
Which has gotten, it's gotten a lot of views over on YouTube. Almost everyone has seen it. I guess you're under a rock if you haven't. So, let's see. So the first thing is, when exactly did you guys think about doing it, and then when did you implement it?
Well, we'd always kind of decided that we wanted to do a new intro cutscene, obviously, just because Legacy's always kind of been the point. But I believe the first concepts were kind of thrown around like a year ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because didn't you guys have a live stream where you guys were testing out cutscenes?
Well, that was more so me just messing around. But just the weird floating number
trying
two.
to help you out.
Yeah. but it definitely was preliminary sort of experimenting with what Unity could do in terms of cutscenes. Especially on my end, because when working on the cutscene, pretty much all of the different scenes and camera switches and pretty much all the timing was done by me.
Okay.
And that those initial tests were kind of the start of that, me practicing and getting to do that.
So when you guys started physically working on it, was that around the time you guys put out that director POTD, or did you guys already have it started beforehand and then you realized, hey, I want to get this rolling, let's just pause one project and streamline this?
Oh man, I'm not entirely sure. Let me go back and check the date on that.
It's all just a blur in your head. You're like, all your days blurred.
Kind of.
I get like that. I have days and years.
Yeah,
blurred.
I was posted in May. I think we started around the start of that month. Not so much working on the cutscene, but getting everything together.
Right,
and just kind of
yeah.
Well, we had certain elements done way ahead of time. The interior of Dex Labs was always intended mostly for the cutscene, and that was posted last year sometime, I think.
Yeah, that was
in a pick of the day.
Yeah, that was an early one.
Yeah. So we've just kind of been gathering bits and pieces. A lot of concept art was drawn for it. Early this year, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, which we want to do a behind the scenes thing at some point, so
that'd be so
look out
much
for that.
fun.
There's a whole animatic for both. It's really cool.
That would be so much fun. You guys should do that. Not stuff that will be super spoilers, but do some behind the scenes, because all of us really would love to see bits and pieces.
Yeah, I should say that anything I say here does not represent the Fusion Fall Universe team, obviously, but it's definitely something we want to do. We've been talking about.
I should also mention, if I ask something that you say, yeah, we can't do that, don't even hesitate to say it. Just say, I can't tell you.
Yeah.
So it was about. So I've told you a lot. This was so much fun to watch. I've had it on repeat all day yesterday.
Yeah, it's crazy just seeing the reaction, because every now and then we just kind of forget that oh, this is all new to people, because obviously we've been working on this for months and months, and I've essentially been daily watching it upwards of 100 times to do timing and stuff. So I'm very, very desensitized to the whole thing. So it's just crazy to see the reaction and just how much people are loving it.
It's easily the best thing for this year. I know we got retro coming up, but I gotta tell you, I'm way more excited about that introduction than retro. Yes, people, hang me up on a Burn me like the witch, whatever. I don't care. Legacy, it just looks so beautiful and professional.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. What can happen? Because I noticed a lot of Fusion Fall stuff. Not to like, I don't want to say this as like a diss to the original team, but like they very certainly had like some restraints on what they could and couldn't do. Probably a lot of budget
Yeah.
problems, but with us, it's just kind of, well, here's a thing we want to do, and then we just kind of go for it. We don't have to worry about like how much do we have to pay to get this done. We just kind of, with our collective skills, kind of make it happen, and it's really cool to see that like when you and a group of people have such a passion for something like Fusion Fall, which is, I think what really helps with that is it's not just like we're all fans of one thing. We're also fans of all of the shows that go into Fusion Fall, which just kind of builds up this really strong feeling of passion towards the project. But when we all have that feeling, we can get pretty much anything done, and it's really crazy.
Yeah, this is proof of what dedication and love looks like. Because I agree, I don't want to dismiss the Fusion Fall team because they gave us this game basically.
Yeah.
But you can see the restrictions, and I don't think any of them didn't like the game, but, you know, executives meddle and then financial meddles. So, honestly, I think if they had to look at this, they'd be like, oh, this is so good.
Yeah, like I've had a couple small conversations with one of the people who worked on Fusion Fall, and they're so passionate about the project and the world that they created, and just sort of like got to remix all of the Cartoon Network shows and make them into this cohesive world. And it's crazy to see that, like, not only do we now get to sort of mess with that, but that they've seen our stuff and they think what we're doing is cool too.
That's got to be like a major pat on the back for you guys. Like, yeah, you guys are doing an amazing job.
Yeah, it's certainly very gratifying, I guess. I don't really know what else to say.
So, what brought you guys to pick the particular characters and scenes for the video? Because we saw a lot of like we saw the K&D and the Powerpuffs and the Magus. I know a lot of it was geared towards the hold on, I got the retro, not retro, but the Originals Academy update when they had the new intro, and you had Lowenthal's speech, so it fit there perfectly.
Yeah. The original plan was, I don't want to delve too much into this just because I'm not sure how much the team wants to save, but the original plan didn't feature the Ben narration, but it featured a lot of the same shots and like scenes, because the whole thing, as most good ideas do, kind of stemmed off of a joke where we're like, well, GTA 5 has this really cool opening cinematic shot. It'd be cool if there was some way that we could establish like the world of Fusion Fall, because in the original game, it just kind of, you're in the time machine, and if you didn't like look up stuff beforehand, you really wouldn't know what was going on at all.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to make sure that the player, excuse me, that the player like understood what kind of world the game was set in, what the tone was before getting thrust into the character creation. And so we found that we really wanted to sort of do these cool establishing shots, and eventually we found that the Academy intro audio would work really well for that, with some minor edits. You'll notice that we kind of like spaced out the dialogue more and stuff.
Yeah, but you know what's so weird? I remember the update and I remember the intro, but I think I had it muted like the second time I did or something. So when I watched the video, I legit thought it was Lowenthal. Because it was that good. It sounded professional, obviously, because he did it, so obviously it's professional. But it sounded like, it didn't sound old. It sounded new. Like you had guys somehow come together and you talked to him and said, hey, can you do this line? That was me spacing out, just excited for seeing Sector V and oh, how pretty it was. But I could see the narration in the video the second time I watched it after I got all my fangirl out of it, of the start where like sort of a CN city type of feel, and then we transitioned into Fuse coming. He's still in space, and then you had us at the time travel expedition, which is the start, and then you had us ending off where we're in the future, which that looked so amazing. The lightning effect was so cool. I was so happy when I saw it. I'm like, ah, but I like lightning, so that's weird.
Yeah. That I will say that effect of like panning up to Planet Fusion and then it fading out to Dex Labs is one of the most overly complex things I think I've ever had to do, but it came out really well.
Oh, it came out so amazing.
There's like four cameras going on there, one of which gets rendered to the UI. I'm sure most people won't know what I'm talking about, but it's crazy. I'd actually kind of like to show it off at some point, just because of how much work went into that.
Yeah, this should be another behind the scenes, but probably like when you feel comfortable to be like, okay, folks, here you go.
Yeah, because there's a certain like I really want to pull down the curtain, but at the same time I don't want to like ruin the illusion.
Right. And that some people, like, I'm fine with knowing the ins and out because it makes me appreciate it more. But I know there's others who like don't want to know the tricks of like what a magician does. They want to be amazed. I was asked this question yesterday by someone else, and they asked like what was my favorite part, and I could not pick one. I picked the whole video because it was just incredible to see a lot of the updates, especially to the character creation selection, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's another thing that actually happened very. I want to say like immediately after we had that shift in direction when Retro was announced.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things we did is how do we make character creation really cool? And I think it was either me or Vert who said that the time machine should be like actually 3D, because in the original game you just kind of saw the interior in the form of like a 2D background behind the character creation window.
Yeah.
And so we kind of interpreted that into a 3D model, and I think we got it really close to how it was meant to be seen. So I'm really proud of that.
It looks way better than the other one. I know Kev wanted a video comparison of the two, but I decided to do GIFs because I was too lazy to do a video. And it's literal night and day. It is night and day between the two. I think if you found someone who was never in Fusion Fall and submitted the two of them and said, okay, pick your favorite selection, which one looks professional, which one looks fan-made, honestly, everyone would probably choose Legacies. I really think so. It looks so good. I know Fusion Fall was in 08, 09, so obviously we've had almost 10 years of development. So obviously we've gotten more advanced, more games have come out, so we have more to compare to, but it honestly, Legacy is just going to overshadow it. It's so good.
Thank you. It means a lot to hear that.
Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, okay? Send them to me. If they get on you guys, send them to me. I will straighten all of them out.
Yeah. Another interesting tidbit is the animation for Dexter when he's talking to you in the time machine. That was done, maybe around the same time as the time machine interior, which was I wish I had a date on this, actually. I might be able to find one. Hang on. Not off the top of my head. But it must have been at least a year ago, I think. Something crazy like that.
Wow, so you guys have been sitting on that for at least a year, give or take. Man.
It wasn't necessarily polished and ready to see until the rest of this was good to go, because we did some minor edits and stuff. But this has been a long time in the making, and we're really happy to finally show this off. Especially because for a while there really wasn't much in the way of context as to what the new direction for Legacy was, because it was just like sure there were screenshots comparing the old game to the new one, but there was nothing really definitive that showed like here's the tone, here's what you can expect from stuff going forward. And I feel like releasing this really helps like people figure that out, and that was definitely one of our goals for deciding to get this out there.
Yeah, I'd say about mid season 2 of the POTDs, it's became clear. It's like, okay, we're doing this, but the introduction really cemented it for everyone.
Yeah.
I loved seeing the staff members' characters, and I didn't even notice mine until someone pointed it out. So that's how much I wasn't even paying attention. But I loved them in the video because it made the environment come to life. Because we saw them walking and we saw them moving and interacting, and it just made it's something that Legacy is perfecting, is it's making the world come alive.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my personal goals, is to, because I'm above all else, I really love just like world building and story and like character interactions. I'm a big dialogue guy, so getting to make the world feel alive is definitely something that I'm really passionate about, and it's great to see that.
So,
Well, not only great to see that it's happening, but great to see that people care.
oh yeah, I think a lot of us care. It's just sometimes people might not want to say it just because they think someone else has said it before.
Yeah.
But I can relate because I like writing stories, and I loved Fusion Fall for the aspect of the story, not so much the mechanics. So I love that Legacy is blending the two together. That, yeah, you guys are doing a lot of mechanical updates, but we're also doing story updates. Like, here you go, folks.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the decision to introduce new characters into the introduction?
A lot of it was actually just, hey, we already have this character planned, and they would look really good here. We should throw them in.
Yeah, Carl was like... Carl was the biggest one, because he's probably one of the least knowns outside of Weasel.
Yeah. I think with Carl, it was partially an inside joke, because not only have we had this big thing where like Carl is one of our favorite characters, just because a lot of the voice lines we have for him are great, but also he's just so fun. I don't know if you noticed, he's actually outside the comic book store.
Yeah,
in Pokyokes.
Is he camping out there? I noticed a tent, and he's in a chair, like not an actual bench. It's a wooden chair type of thing.
I will say that his placement in the cutscene does imply his role in the game.
I love him already. I love the magazine too. It says Toonami, but I can't make out who's the person on it, or whatever that thing is.
Like on the back or on the front?
No, I know who's on the back. I know it's the Major Glory with Blossom and Dexter, which looks like it's an ad for those pies they eat.
Yeah, the Justice Fruit pies.
Yeah, but who's on the front where it says Toonami and then it's the cover?
I think it's Tom 3, but Carl's thumb and fingers are just kind of like covering the front of his face.
Okay.
Yeah, there's also Liberty Bell, Mange, and Harmony Bunny in the back.
Ah, they looked so good.
I think like a screenshot from the cartoon was on that in the original, but Vert decided to go all out and redraw all the comic pages for the collector, which is the name of the store. It's really cool.
That's gonna look so nice, because yeah, I remember the pictures. They were just straight from the cartoon, which in itself was kind of a cute nod to the TV series, but it just looks so much better in the Fusion Fall style.
There's some really cool references on there I think people will enjoy.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Especially fans of really, really old shows.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm going to do a whole exploration there. So what made you guys decide to release the video now?
A lot of it was, we noticed that there were still kind of like some weird, confused thoughts going on about Legacy, like, what's the point if Retro exists? Why are they releasing the game a second time? Like, people just didn't seem to grasp that, like, grasp the scope that we were going to be doing to, like, make the game feel different and better. And so we felt that this would be the best way to sort of get that information out there and really just provide some context. But just as well, this is the first thing that has to be, like, seen by the player anyway, so we figured, why not get it done ahead of time?
Yeah, honestly, this video is its best, like trailer.
Yeah,
Because it fits everything. Nothing new is revealed aside from new characters, but I mean, that's not a huge spoiler type thing. Compared to like if you showed a shot of people fighting Fuse.
yeah.
Gosh, I just love this video. It's just
I'm really happy that people get to experience it. And I'm super ecstatic that people are enjoying it as much as they are. It means a lot.
yeah. I don't think I've heard of like one negative, like super negative comment.
Yeah.
I'm just remembering him running down in his little tracksuit.
Yeah, that was I forget whose idea that was, but I think I was like, it'd be really nice if we could include a couple more villains in this scene.
Yeah, like that
'Cause
whole video was like that whole section was like 4 villains. I was thinking, is that a villain's colony right there? Part of the city is theirs, and they all go there.
Yeah, because you've got Father walking with his groceries, and you've got him in the back doing his workout.
Father, I think, was funny in that one because he's so calm about it. He's just like, nope, I have groceries. I'm not dealing with this today.
Yeah.
I got a purple cat I gotta deal with. Oh no, wait, that's much later. He should deal with the tanks now. He's got a purple cat much later down the road. You know what I just remembered that looked really cool? The time machine, the exterior.
Yeah, that was because in the original game you pretty much only saw it after it had been like repaired, so it was kind of like destroyed and kind of held together with duct tape.
Yeah.
And it was also all Mandark tech because he and number two were responsible for repairing it. So we kind of had to go back and reimagine what it would have looked like beforehand.
Yeah, it just looks so cool. And also, I noticed a thing with Fusion Fall is the text scrolls down, up, down, up. That doesn't make sense. I know what yeah, no, I'm right. So it scrolls, but it's like the Star Wars type of thing, but it's the opposite. You're literally reading the bottom first and then to the top.
Yeah, it's just like a weird thing that we decided to keep from the original.
And unless it's a spoiler, what's written on there?
I think it's mostly just gibberish, but
Okay.
I'm pretty sure in the blue scene you might be able to make it out for the couple frames that he doesn't hop up into the hologram.
I tried. I might have to put it through Photoshop and see if I can slow it down, but every time I try, I'm just like, what are you guys writing? How can you all read? Going the wrong way, folks. I'm really glad we did this one over the other video.
Yeah.
Because I love Boomer and everything, but this was so much fun.
Yeah, it's when I said I wanted to wait for it to release, I wasn't kidding. This is definitely probably one of the things I'm most proud of, like, ever.
They should. The whole team should be proud of what they've done. And this is just another notch on your guys's, like, I don't know, what do they say? On either freaking string, I don't know. Put another tally mark on the whiteboard. Like, this is another tally mark on the whiteboard. I'm gonna get a whiteboard. I'll do that. I'll get a whiteboard and I'll put the devs' accomplishments and I'll tag it. I'll mark them. Why can I not think? You know what? I blame this video. This video is in my head and it's stopping all thought except on that video.
Mm. Another one of my favorite scenes is definitely the Eds.
Oh,
that whole bit with the car and
that was so perfect. It was perfectly them.
yeah. So that's actually a second draft. We had something else originally in that spot, but we decided to swap it out. We might when we do the behind the scenes stuff, we might show that off as well.
Okay, then we will not talk about that part because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. I want to know what it is later on too. But yeah, that part was so good. It was so fun to see them up to their old antics. Although poor Double D got hurt.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, it was really weird starting out, but like seeing the Fusion Fall characters doing stuff was really jarring at first when working on this. Because up until like recently, they were only ever seen just kind of like standing around, with the
Yeah.
exception of the characters in the intro, which even then they didn't do all that much.
It was a nice touch. It really added to the characters. It was a nice touch. It makes me wish the original team would have made more cutscenes.
Yeah. I'm really glad we got what we did, but it's really awesome being able to go back and just sort of see how can we bring this world that they created to life. It's really cool to not only get to do that, but to be able to share it with so many people.
Yeah, it's just it really shows you how close knit our little community is. Because I know we're not the biggest, but it's just amazing to see something we all love come back, and we can all enjoy it together, and this time actually appreciate it. Because I know video games, especially MMO RPGs that are not called World of Warcraft, they have a limited time span. I just didn't think Fusion Fall would go out so quickly. I thought it'd be around at least a little longer, considering how much they pushed it. So I think this will make everyone appreciate retro and legacy, especially when they get to step inside both of them for the first time.
Yeah. Fusion Fall was definitely, for me at least, a case of you don't know what you have until it's gone. Because back in the day, my computer was really bad, so I didn't necessarily get to experience the game during its prime, and so I just kind of had to go back at during the academy and try to figure out what I missed.
So the academy, you guys used the update. Do you guys think you're going to do any sort of add that more into the game from the academy?
Maybe bits and pieces, but we're not really ready to talk about that yet. Sorry.
Not a problem. I don't even know where I was going with my thought. It was in my head, and then I'm like, oh, what am I trying to say here? Well, I'm really excited for this introduction. It looks way better than the original and retros. Not retros. No, retros and the Academy.
Mm.
So for some reason in my head, I keep thinking retro and Academy are the same thing. And I know the distinction.
Mm.
It's just then when I say it, I think of both of them at the same time.
Mm.
This is what happens when I have too much on my head. Too much. So let's see. What else about that video aside from... Oh! Whose idea was it for Mandark's observatory?
I think it was mine. I don't want to take all the credit in case it wasn't fully my idea, but I'm pretty sure because obviously Vert did the design as he always does, and he did a stellar job making the idea come to life. But I think it was my idea originally to sort of have the Mount Rushmore sort of deal.
It fits him so well. It makes sense. Is he holding his chin, or is that just his
Yeah, he's holding his chin.
Okay, I thought so. It looked like it was, but I'm like, it could be a thing. I won't ask where it is because I know Prizzy was like, I'm not answering that, so I'll take guesses on my own. But it fits him so well to just have his face there, and it doubles as an observatory. So will that be a place we can visit, or is that strictly for the cutscene?
It'll be a place you can visit, yeah.
Oh, awesome. That'd be a lot of fun.
The towers might give you a little bit of a clue as to where it is, if you can match them up to some other stuff.
Yeah, I think I know where it is, but I'll leave people to guess. We'll see, and then when the game comes out, we'll see if it was right or wrong. I mean, really, it's a 50-50 chance. You're either right or you're wrong. It's 50-50, so that'll be fun. So anything else on the introduction aside from how amazing it is? And no, people cannot ask me to stop saying that.
I'd really like to thank just everyone on the team for putting their all into this, and even if you didn't like directly work on it, like thanks for supporting us and just being there. I'm glad we all got to work on this together and to make it happen. And definitely thanks to everyone in the community for pretty much putting up with us and watching the video that we released. Because to be honest, even if there wasn't a community, I'd probably still be here, me and Devin, just hanging out making Fusion Fall stuff. And so it's awesome to be able to kind of live the dream, because when I was just a kid and I was playing Fusion Fall, I mean, I wasn't, I guess, that young considering Fusion Fall's release date. But
when you were youngish,
I always had hopes of like maybe one day I'll get to work on Fusion Fall. That was kind of like my dream, and it's amazing to be able to be doing that now. And thanks to the community for giving that purpose.
well, honestly, we gotta be thanking you guys and the devs for bringing it back, because it was disappeared for a while and everyone wanted it back, and you guys working on it and just seeing this video cements how dedicated you guys are to it. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise, but we really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
So do you think that'll be a wrap up for this video?
I suppose so, yeah.
So
I could go on about this cutscene forever.
I don't think we can test these kids. I think they'll disappear before then. No, it was fun. This was a fun introduction. This was a fun talking. I've said it multiple times. I like to get conversations going. And
Yeah.
especially with this video, there's so much for it to talk about. I just realized, was the future in Tech Square looking at Mojo's volcano?
That is Tech Square Future, yeah.
Okay, so it was I figured, because we do go there first, but I'm like, Mojo's is pretty close to us.
Yeah, I don't wanna add fire to any rumors. The future Mojo's volcano isn't like an area or anything. This is a screenshot of Tech Square Future, or I guess not a screenshot, but a video.
Yeah, it's honestly just to show the most devastation, because what's one of the biggest areas there? Oh, Mojo. That's a big, like, look how terrible it is that this volcano is affected.
Yeah. I believe it was right next door, even in the original game, so, like, it just kind of shows not only, like, the devastation around the area, instead of it just being, like, a fusion matter sea, but it also shows that you can see that far now.
That's going to be so much fun, just walking around and just seeing the edges, but seeing how much further they are than the original. Yeah, I think that'll do it for this one. Maybe you and Devin should go put back Devin and Dogon at whatever time and talk about the introduction. And
Oh yeah,
nudge.
kind of forgot about that. We've been so caught up in this cutscene.
No, I think that'd be a lot of fun if you guys did another
Yeah.
one and you talked about this, and maybe that's where you guys put your
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, now that we have stuff to talk about, I'd love to get back into doing that. Because before it was just kind of like, well, we can't really show anything, and we might as well be getting spoiler-related work done. So, but now that we have stuff that we can show, it'd be really cool to get back to that.
Yeah,
It'd be
good.
cool to have guests on if you're interested.
Oh yeah, hit me up whenever you guys need to have people to talk to. But I would enjoy seeing that. I know Prizzy said he's gonna get incoming transmission going. I hope he does.
Yeah.
That one and his character lores. I am waiting on that Robot Jones. Do you hear me, Prizzy? Waiting. I'll wait longer. I'm a very patient person. So I think that'll be a wrap up for this video. It's a lot of fun. We got a lot of stuff in. I will definitely pull you back on. Like I've told everyone else, I'll pull you back on for a special guest, because this was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Anytime. I'm always up for it.
Well, you need to also be sleeping. You devs, I worry. You guys aren't sleeping, and it bugs me.
I get sleep sometimes, as of now.
Sometimes.
No, this is out.
Sometimes. Yeah, that's the key word. Sometimes. Sometimes I get sleep. All right. Do you want to say anything else to the viewers before we go?
Just once again, thanks everyone. Thanks to the community. Thanks to the team. Thanks to the original developers of Fusion Fall for giving us this game and this world to sort of play our own spin on. It's been an amazing experience, and I can't wait to keep the ball rolling and show you guys more stuff.
Well, we will all be here waiting patiently as well. I would like to also thank the developing team and everyone who is watching this video. And that will be it for us today on Special Guests. So I will catch you guys all on the forums. Bye-bye.
Bye.